Well, hey fans, welcome back to another one of these FlixFrog Top 10 lists. I really enjoyed doing these, and here today, of course, to talk about my top 10 most disappointing movies of 2023. And I don't like to do a top 10 worst list because, that's just me, and then nobody intends to make a bad film. Everybody wants to make the best quality film that they can. It just doesn't always work out. And these are movies that I looked at them, and not that I ever thought any of these were probably going to be like great, but I thought they were going to be at least good. And when I went and watched them, I was disappointed in what I saw. So let's just jump right into it. Number 10, the Super Mario Brothers movie. I am a big fan of the 90s Super Mario Brothers movie with John Leguizamo, and I don't like the hate that movie gets, and I don't understand why we never got a sequel. I like I said, I really enjoyed it, but Disney, not Disney, Nintendo didn't like the movie. Fans didn't like the movie. A lot of critics didn't like the movie. So Nintendo's like, yeah, we're not going to give you guys any of our properties ever again. They have gotten soft on that over the years when they've seen how much money can be made, especially in children's animation, and they went with Illumination. And I remember seeing the first trailer, watched with my daughter, and I was like, this looks like it could actually be good. Went to see the movie, and it's a kid's movie. It is a kid's movie, and it disappointed me. They could have done so much more. It is very shallow, and it just did not do it for me. The voice acting was great. I think Chris Pratt actually did a great job voicing Mario. Charlie Day as Luigi is perfect casting. Anya Taylor-Joy as Peach was fine, and Jack Black as Bowser. I enjoyed it. The song Peaches, meh. That little Lumen Star or whatever, that depressing one that spouts all the, oh, we're going to die and death is the only escape. That was funny, but overall, the movie was a disappointment for me. Number 9, Knock at the Cabin. M. Night Shyamalan has been on sort of a resurgence. He has gotten me reinvigorated into what his career could be, and unfortunately, I did not like Knock at the Cabin because there wasn't a twist. I'm a big fan of the M. Night Shyamalan twist, even like his previous movie, Old, where there was a twist. I still didn't think that movie was that great, but there was at least a twist. This one, it is what it is from the get-go. Like, these guys come in, they're saying, this is why we're here, this is why we're doing this. So, you're waiting for a twist, like, so why are they doing this? Are they like a cult? Is this actually a lie? Is there like some kind of spiritual presence here? And they kind of allude to it, but no. What they were saying is apparently true, and it's happening, and it's like, so why are we watching this? If there's not a twist, like, we're just watching people kill themselves, it all just did not work to me as a film. And I think if they went with the book ending, it would have been better. Because there's no twist in the book ending either, but the decision that is made is pretty much like, all right, well, this is what it's going to be. Forget it. We're just going to let the world be destroyed or whatever. And for me, maybe I'm a nihilist. I like that ending better in this situation. Number 8, Transformers Rise of the Beasts. Saw the trailer. I liked Bumblebee. I was like, maybe this one will be a little bit better. It has the Maximals in it, which I'm a big Beast Wars fan. Beast Wars is what got me into Transformers. I had seen clips of the old, 80s cartoon when I was younger, but Beast Wars, that was it. And any 90s kid will tell you Beast Wars was legit. And seeing the Maximals maximize and the Predacons terrorize was amazing. This movie does the Maximals no justice. There aren't even any Predacons in it. And Coleman Domingo voices Unicron, which is great, but he's barely in the movie. And like, there were rumors going around that this was going to tie the Bay franchise with this new Bumblebee reboot, since the timelines never really made sense anyway. And it was going to be like some sort of, this would take place actually after Transformers The Last Night, and Optimus is like with Unicron from the future. He gets sent back to the past. All that sounded great. That's not what the movie was. Like, the Maximals are boring. They barely say anything. Air Razor doesn't even get to transform before she's killed. Bumblebee's there for some reason, and he's killed and brought back to life. And, like, at the end, they try to tie it into G.I. Joe. I hope it doesn't work out. I hope they just end this franchise and just move forward with some other Hasbro stuff, because it did well, like, financially. I think it did moderately well, but it just was like a not great movie. And, like, I had an advanced screening of this. Right after that screening, me and my boy went and watched Spider-Verse again. A very good movie. That's on my best of year, not on my disappointing list. So yeah, Transformers, boo. I'm kind of over the franchise at this point. Let's do GoBots, I guess. Number 7, Wish. This is the second time a Disney movie has made it on my most disappointing list. Last year, I believe Strange World made it on. This year, it is Wish. And yeah, it was just kind of like boring. It's forgettable. And the animation is beautiful. I will say that much. The animation of this movie, stunning. And this is the animation that Disney animated films should move forward with, and all their movies going forward. Frozen 3, whatever other movies they have coming out. Pick this animation style. The voice cast was great. It's just the story was boring and did nothing for me. And the music was forgettable. There's not a single song on here that's a banger. So it's just do better, Disney. We expect better from you. Rebuild and, bring it to us. Number 6, 65. 65 was boring. I'll say that much. This movie should have been released strictly on streaming because, yeah, it was boring. It's supposed to be, the premise is great. 65 million years ago, aliens visited Earth. There were dinosaurs there. They have to escape before the meteor hits. Premise is great. You watch the movie, it's boring. Adam Driver is like talking to this girl who speaks another language, but it's like they're aliens anyway. That whole aspect of the film, I didn't like. The whole, lone wolf finds a cub type of mentality that's been done in The Last of Us and every other TV show this year, The Mandalorian, and like maybe they should have got Pedro Pascal and I would have liked this movie better. Maybe. But yeah, it was boring. And the thing about it is this could have been any alien planet because you don't see any recognizable dinosaurs in this movie. You don't see a Triceratops, you don't see a Tyrannosaurus Rex, a Velociraptor, any of that. They're like these made up looking dinosaurs that nobody cares about or can connect to. So I just felt overall, what were we doing here? What were we doing here? So yeah, just disappointing for me. Number 5, another movie on my most disappointing list. Speaking of streaming, Rebel Moon. I really had high hopes for this movie, and to me, this is another one that was just kind of boring. I think Zack Snyder is a great director. He's a great storyteller. He's a great visual storyteller. And this movie looks great. Considering the budget that it had, it looks great. The script, not so much. You can kind of tell, like, he had an idea for a Star Wars movie. He was going to do, Seven Samurai with Star Wars characters. Took it to the studio. They said, we're good because we don't want it to be rated R. He took that concept, changed a few things, and made his own movie. Personally, and like I said, I love Zack Snyder. In this instance, at least, he should have hired another writer. He should have said, this is my treatment. Somebody write me a script. I will direct it, and it will be amazing. I think he is running into the same issue that George Lucas has. George Lucas, it's a great idea, man. Not the best writer. He needs somebody to write it for him, or he needs somebody to write it with him. And I think that is the issue I ran into with Rebel Moon. I hope it turns around. They got part 2 coming out, and I hope the series gets better as it goes along, or else I'm just going to let it alone as a streaming, movie. Maybe it would have been better if it were a streaming series. When you look at it, this was broken up into episodes, you're like, this probably would have been a decent series, but in terms of a movie, I don't know if it's going to work out. Number 4, Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle, I love Shola Marjuana. I like the character as he was presented in Young Justice. He's become one of my favorites in recent years. This movie does him no favors. I will say the suit looks great. The suit looks amazing, but I mean, they canceled Batgirl and they put this movie out, and it's supposed to... The thing is, we don't know what universe this movie's set in. It's supposed to be the DCEU or the DCU. Well, Shola's coming back as Blue Beetle for the DCU, but there are no characters mentioned or no characters that appear in this movie that are from the DCEU. So it's like in this nowhere verse of movies. Like, why would they do that? And if Shola's coming back as Blue Beetle, you shelve this movie. Not shelve it. You put it on the shelf. This movie, the effects in this movie are garbage aside from the Blue Beetle suit. You put a little bit more money into like the effects, making it polished. You got your new DCU coming up. And then you're like, we have our new Superman, our new Wonder Woman, all these new characters. You release Superman Legacy. You shoot a cameo for him, for that Superman to appear. You put it in this movie. You release this movie in like August or September after Superman Legacy. You didn't really have to do any work. And even if this movie was awful, which is fine, it's not awful, but even if it was awful, if you've got a great Superman movie and you come out with this, and as this movie was made for streaming, you can make more money following up your Superman Legacy movie with this than us having to wait a whole other year for the next movie. You dig? So I just think it's a disappointment in how it was released and a lot of other things about it. The cast, the story was, it didn't do it for me, dog. Number 3. Sticking with DC, Shazam! Fear of the Gods. It's just the whole thing with Black Adam and this, and I'll be real with you. It's not as good as the first one, but it's not like a lot worse. It's just kind of like a bottle episode in a universe where they didn't know where it was going. Wonder Woman makes a small cameo, but this whole thing is going on in Philadelphia and no other heroes show up. It's like The Flash came out. That's not on my most disappointed list because the film, it was all right. You know, I kind of enjoyed what they did, even though that's not where I would have taken the story. This one, it's like they could have done so much more. And I know their hands are tied behind their back with Black Adam, and like I said, all that stuff just didn't work out. But I think they could have done something better. And a lot of this, I'm going to put on blame on Walter Hamada and him trying to do that whole Hamadaverse thing. Whatever he was trying to reboot it into just wasn't working, and this was a casualty of that. So, yeah, Shazam. Zachary Levi, that's another thing that's disappointing. Okay, so Asher Angel, I think is his name or whatever, like, he plays Billy Batson, who's now 18, as an 18-year-old. But when he turns to Shazam, it's like he's back to like a 15-year-old. It doesn't quite make sense. Like, as Billy Batson matures, so should Captain Marvel. But I don't think Zachary Levi got those notes. And he was good in the first one as playing him, very, childlike. But, as your human counterpart gets older, you need to, adapt that as well. And you're supposed to have the wisdom of Solomon, which he didn't even know what that was. And, yeah, there's just a lot of other issues with, this movie. Number 2, The Marvels. I don't even know why I was disappointed by this, because Secret Invasion was awful, but The Marvels, not good. I'm not going to say it was bad. It was solid, but I got my reviews for all these movies, well, the ones I did review. It's just so sad that they would put Nia DaCosta through this. And I know she wanted to make a great movie. I know she tried. But man, what came out was just a disappointing mess. A lot of the editing is like just all over the place. The character motivations don't make sense. The villain, worst villain in the MCU, and I'm proud to say that. And this has nothing to do with it being a female cast, female directed, female everything. No, it just wasn't a great movie. It wasn't a great movie. It was poorly edited. And the fact that they put this out as the strike was like, I think it had just ended when this movie came out. No, this movie's having problems. You have the perfect opportunity to be like, look, we're going to tuck this one back away. If you need to do some more editing, do some reshoots, whatever you need to do, and you push this movie out this May 2024, right before Deadpool, you got that whole stinger at the end with the X-Men, would have been the perfect lead-in. And then you add a stinger for Deadpool in the TVA to that. And then this movie makes a lot more money. Does it crack $1 billion? Probably not. But it at least cracks like $500 million. The fact that they didn't do that baffles me. Brie Larson deserves better. Iman Vellani deserves better. Tiana Paris deserves better. These ladies are great. And in their roles, they are great. But the synergy for this movie just didn't work. Do I want a third Captain Marvel? Yes. And I had this great plan about what that movie should be. And I'll put that in my spoiler review, which I still haven't done. Haven't done my spoiler review for it, but I'll get that out. But yeah. Number 1, Good Burger 2. Oh boy, guys, come on. Come on. What were we doing here? I know what we were doing. We were having fun. We were giving the fans a Good Burger 2 for the streaming services. And just so disappointed by this movie. So disappointed by this movie. Kel Mitchell as Ed. Great job. That's exactly what I expected Ed to be like after 20 years. But, Keenan as Dexter, after this amount of time, that's not who Dexter Reed should be, in my opinion. And just the plot line, the whole story behind a lot of it, just felt cheesy and corny. It really felt like this is a script. It's like they made Good Burger in the 90s. They wrote a script for Good Burger 2, never got made. This was that script. and they just kind of aged everybody up to modern times instead of going a totally different direction. Because like a lot of things that happen in this movie, you can see happening within like 2 or 3 years after Good Burger. Maybe like as the characters are in college or right after college, but not this many years later. Uh, and like I said, I enjoyed Kel Mitchell as Ed. I really enjoyed what he brought to that character. I enjoyed seeing everybody again. That part was fun, but the overall movie, highly disappointing. But yep, that'll do it for me, guys. That is my list: top 10 most disappointing films of 2023. Thank you for listening to me, even though I'm a little stuffy and I've been fighting these colds for like 3 weeks. But just thank you guys. If you want to read and or watch the reviews I did for these movies, you can find them on the website flipfrogllc.com/flixfrog. Remember, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit. And please, pretty please, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Subscribe right now. Hit that button. We got to over 200 subscribers this year. We need to get to over 300 next year. Give me to 1,000 if you can. So until next time, I'll be seeing you.